If you love to create those one-of-a-kind intricate flowers, you'll want to join me and learn how to create those beautiful, delicate hanging wisterias. Join me and we'll have lots of fun learning how to create these together the easy way. To get started, we're going to cut out the card base and then we're going to create these wisterias. So to create the card base, I use the decorative cage, which can be used by itself as a shaped card or on an actual card base if you prefer. So to get started, I took a white piece of cardstock, just take one that's larger, fold it in half, and then you can go ahead and tape your die into place, and this will create a beautiful shaped card very easily. So you'll run this through your machine, and once that comes out, you have this beautiful shaped card that is hinged, ready to assemble. You'll cut one more piece using the very same die, layer it on top so you have a bright backer, and then you can go ahead and cut that decorative cage piece. It has an interactive opening, and then you're ready to decorate this however you prefer. To create the wisterias, you'll want to use the Wisteria Petals Stamp and Die set. This has all the teeny tiny flowers to make those beautiful wisterias. And then this is the die that will cut those out. So when you get started creating the wisterias, you'll stamp them. You'll stamp 8 of them at one time. And you can choose which colors you like to create with. I use the Majestic Violet, I use Forget Me Not, and Cactus Flower. So I just quickly colored them before they were die cut out, which makes it really easy. They're all intact. And then once they were cut out, I also colored the back. So to shape them, once they're colored and die cut out, you're just going to go ahead and have them stamped side down. Just do a little mist with your water mister. Use your stylus. You can use 4mm or smaller tip, and just go circular motion. I did use the deluxe flower shaping paper, so everything sticks and shapes very, very well. Just go to circular motion on each petal so that kind of clusters up, and you can kind of pull that up and that will close. Now, each petal you will want to just pop a quick hole down the center, and then we're ready to layer these together. So you can use the wisterias by themselves just as an individual flower, but it becomes really fun when you put these together. So to put these together in clusters to create a very realistic looking wisteria, you can do multicolor for fun, or you can keep the same colors together. So to get started, I took 2 wired stamens and basically just kind of twisted them together, and we'll start out with one flower. I'm going to use the ones that are dry. I typically like to use up to 12, but you can adjust the sizes based on how you like and what you prefer. I am using my hot glue gun, and as this comes up, I'll just pop a little bit of hot glue in the center, and we will bring this flower all the way up, and we will twist it right around those stamens. In the beginning, you will just strip these flowers over the 2 stamen wires, and you'll just keep going. And the trick with this is just to overlay. You have your stamp side out. You'll just bring this up. You will offset those petals, and the second one will just be resting a little bit higher than the first one. Now, once you've done 2 layers, you can do up to 3 layers like this, but once you've done 2 layers, I like to pull apart my stamens so you can untwist this wire, and this is where you start spreading it apart and creating a larger flower. So you can go ahead and just pull those wires apart, and this is where the creativity and fun of creating the wisteria starts to take place. Now, this is the type of flowers that I tell my crafters to be patient with the process, because the first one you do will feel a little bit more difficult just because you've never done this type of flower before. But the more you do, the more practice you get, and the easier it will become. So the second one, I just stripped up 1 wire, and I will push that out to the side so it's hanging more tightly, pushed up against that flower, and then I'm going to take the second flower and put it on the opposite wire, and we're going to add some glue right up at the tip and continue to pull that flower all the way up. And it has a little bump here that doesn't want to go up. There we go. And now just be patient with yourself. Don't freak out. I do kind of like to have a front and a back. The back will look a little bit flatter than the front. So you have this as your front, and you can see the back just looks kind of flat like this. So we're going to continue just offsetting those petals and do the very same thing with the second layer of 2 side by side. Just put a little bit of hot glue up in this section that this is going to be glued against. Pull that flower up and kind of out, just like this, and just make sure that you kind of keep an eye on the front and the back, and you'll just keep having those little legs spread apart, so it's kind of like a two-legged person right now. You're creating a body. So you've got the head up here, and then you're creating the body, which is a little bit wider. So if that helps to kind of give an illustration when you're putting it together, that's what I like to think about. Now, so you have 2 layers of 2 that are pretty tightly sandwiched together. Once you've done that, I would recommend going and adding a little bit more width. And the way you do that is you'll do 1 on each side. So just do the same thing we have been doing. And if you find yourself struggling, just pause the video, do 1 step with the video, stop the video and just kind of restart it, and just follow these simple steps, and you will be making these wisterias in no time. So just continue that, and right now these legs are kind of separated. It looks kind of janky, and I have to say, like at this part in the flower making, you will feel like it's not turning out. This is the time when you might feel like you need a little bit of counseling or something to help you get through to the next phase, but just be patient with yourself. Just continue on that process, because this is where it looks a little bit funny before it starts to look really beautiful. So you have kind of 2 legs of flowers. And I like this process just because it makes that when you're done, you can kind of tie it together. So you can do up to 12. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on here. I'm just going to do 9. That just makes a smaller flower. Now for this last one that I'm doing, I have a little bit more of a hole right in here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue right on the last 2 petals, and we are going to pop a flower right in between. So this flower is not on the actual wire, but that just kind of makes it wider, and it creates that wisteria. So I did 2 at the tip, and then 2, 1 on each side 3 times, and then I put 1 in the middle, just kind of at the base. And then you can twist that end together, and you can take some of the leaves. I like to pre-cut out some of these leaves. You can pull them apart, and you can go ahead and just glue that right in there, and it just looks like it's all coming together very beautifully. So just practice, practice, practice. Just be very patient with yourself. Add those leaves in there, and then you are ready to add this to your card. To add the wisterias to your card, you can add as many elements as you like. Within this collection, you have some beautiful accent pieces within the wisteria petals, or you also have the cascading wisteria, which is where the leaf and the larger wisterias come from that I'm using as a background. So to get started, when I layer these together, all I'll do is I'll just snip those wires off, and you're going to go ahead and just use your hot glue, and you can start positioning this in place. Now, like I said, you can use 9 flowers. You can use up to 12. You can really kind of adjust those sizes to however you prefer. If you use multicolors, you can really have some fun with that as well. So I'm going to add one that's a little bit higher, and then we'll add the multicolor one in the center. And then you can go back and you can fill in how you like. So you can really have some fun with that. So we're going to just go ahead and move this one over just a little bit. offset that, and then you can add your leaves, you can add your sentiment, and you can have a lot of fun with that. With the leaves that I added in the background, I added some with some hanging wisterias on it, and you can do that in various colors to add beautiful accents. There are so many gorgeous creative samples that were created with the wisteria, the cage, and then those beautiful birds. I haven't shown you those yet. That is the floral song. So within this collection, you have a bird that goes to the left and the right, which just is a beautiful accent to this collection and ties it all together. So you can add that bird to the cage. And you can practice the wisteria like I showed you, and then you can add more or less. The more confident you become, you can do different styles with it to really get those different looks. You can also really pull it together very tightly to get more of a thin, tight look, but you can get so many different looks using the bird, using those wisterias, and the beautiful cage in the background. Here is more of a reverse cutout with those beautiful birds, the wisterias on top. And then here's another one that's just beautifully assembled with a color variation from the top to bottom, very tightly put together using some beautiful decorative background dyes. Here's the cage just layered, a bunch of layers on top of each other, and very large wisteria, so you can always add more or less just based on what you like to do personally. Here's another one with the little birdies and using those beautiful wisterias. So as you can see, the options are really endless with these. You can get many different looks just based on how you shape this. I like how the bird cage comes out of the side as a decorative accent. Here's the little birdies again. Here's the little wisterias, just 3, just used individually. And then here are the birds side by side looking at each other, just singing. Here's an opening with those beautiful wisterias just hanging down from the top. Here's the gold bird cage. Here's one with a decorative die with just a sentiment and those birds paired together. So lots of beautiful creative options that you can really have so much versatility, so much fun. You can also do beautiful interactive cards with that, along with the card we just designed. Now, some fun, if you like altered art, you can do a golden bird cage with the birdie sitting on the inside. That's a 4-paneled one. You could do a 3-paneled one with a bird on the inside, or you could even do one just in white with a little nest and the birdie in there as well, which is super cute. We also have a couple altered art albums. Just doing some beautiful albums with this is also a fun way to really maximize your creativity with this collection. Now these projects will be online with instructions. You can just type in the item number of the stamp or die that you want to see more of, and the examples will pop up for you. And this is another album that just pops down with those beautiful background papers. So within this collection, you have the floral song stamp and die cut, along with the wisteria petals, which has those individual flowers. You've got your decorative cage, and then the cascading wisteria with all the background wisterias and leaves. Within this collection, you have the beautiful background papers that pulls everything together in beautiful lavenders, kind of the cactus flower look, and beautiful elegant greens that just brings that all together and makes it everything very beautifully with your projects. Using these techniques and pairing them with different color combinations, you're gonna have a lot of fun creating beautiful hanging wisterias the easy way. If you don't have the Cascading Petals collection yet, make sure to get yours ordered today. I've added the links below for quick and easy ordering. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to be subscribed today, and we will see you next time. Bye!